Hi guys, now audio is not something I typically review here in the channel. I normally stick to laptops, tablets and mobile phones. But Mixer reached out to me and they said, would you like to view these active noise cancelling headphones from them? They're called the E9s. They sell for about $79 US or 69 euros. So I wanted to find out, are these budget noise cancelling headphones actually any good?
So it should come in this sealed box, and if you take a look at the rear, we do have our specs listed here. So you can see there the sensitivity, the impedance, the driver size is 4 centimeters, and then the profiles it supports. And then inside the box you will find this zippable hard fabric case. The headphones fit snug inside the case. As you can see, they do fold down and there is an elastic band holding them in place. And it comes, of course, with a 3.5mm to 3.5mm cable. So if you wanted to use it wired, if your phone still had a 3.5mm headphone jack, lucky you. But note that you must have some charge for it to actually work. It seems the circuitry inside needs to have charge to power it. Even just cable plugged in, it's not going to work straight away if it has a completely dead battery. So bear that in mind. There's a user manual and an adapter for airline use and a micro USB to USB charging cable. Weight-wise, these headphones only weigh 275 grams, so they are light. And why they're so light is the build. So it's 100% plastic, everything they've gone with the build quality. It's a quality plastic. The finish is quite good. There's no sharp, rough edges, and I can't see any flaws with it. So the cushions that I've used that go over your ears, they aren't leather, it's just a synthetic material they've gone for, and it's 25 degrees here at the moment. It's spring in Europe, and it's not really causing me to sweat or anything yet, but I can feel some heat build up after a few hours. So I see in summer that yes, you'll probably get a little bit sweaty and hot with these, all depending of course on your climate. Now they are very soft, they don't press up against your ears. Even after a couple of hours, you're not going to notice any pain with your ears being pressed against your skull or anything like that. And the same goes for the top cushion here, nice and soft, and after almost 3 hours of use, I didn't have any problems. They are very comfortable. So when we take a look at what we have on the headsets themselves, so here's our power on. Now you just hold this down for 3 seconds. It gives you a voice prompt as well. And when you pair it up to Bluetooth, you can see right now the light is blue. So it will turn red and flash blue when it is pairing up. And there's another voice prompt for that. And with my Android phone, it does actually let me know the battery life too once it pairs. And there are our volume up and down buttons. Now they are made out of plastic, but they do feel okay. It's not a super premium build that we have here with this headset. Definitely not. Now we've got micro USB in here for charging. I know a lot of people still have micro USB, so it's not too much of an issue, but I feel in 2019 that they should have gone with Type-C here. There's our switch to activate on and off the active noise cancellation, which I'll talk about shortly, and then the 3.5mm in. And yes, it does have a microphone built into it. It's right here, so you can take voice calls.
So almost a week has passed and I've been using these as much as I can. And I feel that for the price, you are getting a decent amount of sound. The comfort is good. So having them on my head here, I'm not getting a sore head at the top because the padding is sufficient on the top. Padding around the ears is as well. It's not applying too much pressure to my ears, the fact that they're actually pressing against my skull and end up hurting me. But what I have noticed that after wearing them, especially for something like 3 hours continuously listening to music, and the ambient temperatures right here and back home have been about 24, 25 degrees, 23. You do get a little bit of sweat build up, a bit of heat because of the closed over air design. Now that's kind of normal. That's going to happen with a lot of these. Of course, you've got no real ventilation. So that's something that's just going to happen on pretty much every single one of the headsets out there. Now the noise cancellation, I wanted to talk about that when you turn it on, you notice a definite difference in just how the speakers perform on this. So those 240mm drivers it has, and I find it is best with it on, and I leave it on at all times. When I turn it off, I don't like the audio that comes out of it. The mids sound very flat. It just really is lacking something. But when you turn the noise cancellation on, the first thing you notice too, if you're in a very quiet environment, you will hear that slight hiss noise. So it's like static, almost like a white noise coming through. That's it, countering background noise. Now if you have, for example, an air conditioning unit humming away, which I can normally hear. It's just actually right outside the studio. I've got the air conditioning up there, but the compressor itself makes a little bit of noise. Now with these on, I can't even make it out at all. So it's definitely doing something. But it doesn't do anything for my screaming young children, so I can still hear them. You can still hear something. So if someone walks up to you and starts talking, I mean, the isolation, the noise cancellation is good, but it's definitely not at the level of, say, the MX1000s from Sony, which my other headphones that I had. Similar to these, of course, they're very, very similar, but they cost about 300 and something euros. They're about over three times the price of these ones right here. So it is decent, but just don't expect it to be the absolute best active noise cancellation that you will hear about, because it is not for me in that regard. Now, where these are lacking, so these don't have a huge amount of bass, and I prefer that because I've found with a lot of budget audio gear, they tend to just crank up the basses to cover up on their weaknesses. They go, oh yeah, but it pumps out a lot of bass, and the general public really do like bass. Well, of course, that varies from person to person. So these could sound great to me, and then to someone else, they could say, no, actually they sound terrible. I mean, it's all preference as well. It's all personal opinion right here. I just feel that it is good, the output from them. The bass isn't over the top. It's not completely drowning out the mids, but the trebles, it's just not as crisp as it could be. You definitely notice that difference between an expensive headset and then the likes of the E9 here. And that is, of course, to be expected. So the build quality, they are plastic, the whole thing, but this aids in the fact that they are quite light. It's not too bad, the weight of them at all, and it doesn't tire out wearing them as a result. Now, you don't feel any flaws in the build of them, so there's no like sharp plastics on here. There's no screws that have come unloose after my almost a week with them, about 6 days now with these. I don't see any real problems with the build. It does attract fingerprints as you'd expect, and yeah, it's good. The controls work fine. The buttons, they don't rattle, so when you're walking, you're not going to hear a button rattle around or anything to annoy you in that regard there, which is good. The microphone that's built into this is surprisingly good. So I've had voice calls with it, and I thought that it could actually be bad considering the fact that the mic is, of course, located right here, and it's not closer to your mouth as it would be with, say, a headset, with a headset mic, like a gaming headset or something like that, or if you're just with your phone. But I found when I asked the person out there, how does this actually sound? I'm using a headset, and they said, oh, I can't tell. They couldn't tell the difference. So it does actually work quite well, which is good. Now you press the main power button to hang up. That can do your basic controls there. I like the fact that it does have the voice prompts too. When you're turning it off, it lets you know. And battery life, so the battery life of this, they claim about 30 hours. Now, because I don't like the sound quality with the noise cancellation off, I always left it on. And every time I connect, I took a quick peek at with the battery percent, because it advises you in Android. It says like, oh, you've got 80% left, you've got 70% less volume there. So I noticed that when I was using these, that is actually very good on the battery, but I don't think I'm going to make, definitely not the claim that they say with the about 26 hours, I think it was, with the noise cancellation on. To me, it looks more like 20 hours that I'm going to get. But this is really good because I go on long haul flights. So I fly from Madrid to Dubai, which is about 9 hours, and then an additional 17 hours straight, direct, from Dubai, Arab Emirates, right down to Auckland, New Zealand is a very long flight, and something like this is going to be ideal, of course. And it's not like those true wireless in-ear ones that only last for about 6 hours, 5 to 6 hours, and some of them are really poor, only 4 hours, and you've got to put them back in the case to then recharge it to get an additional 4 hours. Not here with these. You'll be able to do then about 20 hours, I believe, straight, maybe a little bit less. Of course, it depends on your distance from your mobile phone, your tablet. It's all going to depend on, of course, what volume you are using there. So if you've got it really loud, then of course it's going to drain the battery a little bit more. So I think it works out to be okay, but not quite as claimed. The volume, so maximum volume. So people that like to have a huge amount of bass will probably be disappointed. People who like to have very loud output. I noticed that with my phone, at least my Huawei P30 Pro, that having it on the maximum output on the phone, and then this, you keep pushing the plus there to get the maximum volume output on the headsets themselves. For me, it's sufficient enough, but I can see some people will go, you know what, that's not loud enough for my heavy metal that I'm listening to. So there's that area as well. So I think overall for the $79 US, the 69 euros that these are selling for, you're getting yourself a decent headset, but just don't expect miracles. You're getting what you're paying for, and overall, I think they're good. I'll probably check out some more of these active noise cancelling headsets, at least the sub $100 ones in the channel. So keep an eye on that, and thank you so much for watching this audio review. I don't have many of them. And please do like and subscribe for more up and coming tech videos. Bye for now, and thank you again for watching.